Oh, Crowbcat, you dirty dog! Just released this exactly at the time when Bethesda is announcing Oblivion Remastered, which is out now, by the way. Actually, I should have turned my Xbox on and started downloading it. Yeah, I'll give it a whirl. I don't know if I'll do a live stream. Maybe I'll do a video for it. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, this is Oblivion, sincerity of expression, the meaning of soul. Is from Crowbcat, of course. Last time we did a soul versus soulless thing was a couple years ago. So I'm assuming that's what this is going to be about. It didn't really work out for Resident Evil 4. I don't agree with that one personally. Um, I mean, there are definitely things to compare it, but saying it's soulless is, I thought it was a little ridiculous, but whatever. Anyway, so let's get to it. I do actually no. The Dead Rising one was the last one. I forgot about that one. There you go. That was the last one. And you know, actually, when the evidence was thrown out there, I was like, you know what? I agree. Actually, I agree. I still don't think it's like a terrible remake, remaster, whatever. I actually forgot about that one when I was talking about Oblivion, because I was trying to think of like what was the last one that came out that was like a remaster that actually did look like a, you know, like they actually tried to make it look different. And that was the one, Dead Rising, because the only one I could think of was Last of Us Part One. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's check this out. 3, 2, 1, and play. Link in description. Not a big Oblivion guy, so just warning. Soul is the developers not putting on an act, not fitting a mold, but being honest with themselves and articulating their inner world. Yeah. Yep, they actually used that footage in the Oblivion.
This color and texture is perfect for some of the textures that we were trying to recreate in the game. I mean, obviously the moss in general is mostly green, but there's lots of other little details here that really help make the textures more believable. You know, there's lots of other little browns in here, lots of little highlights in the green, and just other little random bits of nature. I've always obsessed over...
I'm getting the vibe that Crowbcat is a huge fan of Oblivion.
Natural foliage and just greenery in games in general. For some reason, I think that's really cool. It's just not something that you normally see.
One thing I thought was really annoying during the live stream, not that Crowbcat would know because this video came out while the stream was happening, is that they kept showing footage like this, not comparing it, but they were showing footage like this, which is obviously old footage. I think they even showed this exact footage, which was kind of shitty that they were doing because they were showing old footage of an older game when you could show it now and obviously looks, you know, better, especially if you play on like an Xbox or whatever, or PC, obviously. Like, not even mods, just play it with like recording capture software we have now where it doesn't look like this, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of annoying.
I think it's a fun environment in a game to play in. You think about all the leaves individually, they're probably pretty close to the same color, but you see them all in a scene like this, there's so much contrast and play of light. In the foreground here is an example of some of our grass that we have in the game. They really add a sense of movement and life. Like, it really makes the ground feel much more organic.
For a 2005-6 game, it came out 2006, but I don't know if this video came out in 2005 or anything. Looks really good.
Chance to really look at every aspect of the game artistically, but
I love the use of the green they use in this game. I will say it always looked like it was like radiating off of the foliage.
Well, it originally starts out as me just thinking about things while I'm working, but later on, after I have, you know, some good source images, you know, I'll do a pencil sketch like this that's more defined and something that I can model from. Yeah, I think it's really hard to come up with an interesting idea for something that's evil. It's a lot harder than you think. A lot of times I think it looks really cool, but it's not necessarily scary. Actually, this is kind of the most fun part of the game sometimes, because you're still making up ideas. They might not get in the game, but it's, I don't know, you just get to make up crazy stuff.
Yeah,
it's cool. So.
It's cool. I love
a lot of the visual
art.
impact is going to boil down from the texturing, from the coloration in it, and then using like shader techniques to try and get the shine and sheen and the cragginess to it, like how the lighting splays across it.
It's really fun because, you know, we go everywhere to find source photographs. Like, we took a
I feel
day
like
trip.
stuff like this doesn't exist anymore, like these behind the scenes things. It does. They do, I should say. But like, they're very, I want to say very like random. Like sometimes they'll just do like, oh, here's a behind the scenes for this game. I think they did one for South of Midnight really recently.
To DC,
which might actually be an interesting one to watch.
Took
I
tons
think
of
there
pictures
was,
of buildings, trying
but
to
I feel
get
like
the,
every game had these
just the
behind the
right-
scenes things.
you know,
I remember Halo 2 had like that second disc if you bought the limited edition. The Steelbook that came with like it showed like the Bungie life and like they had Bungie Day where it was like almost like a like they would have like competitions. So it was really fun watching the voice acting.
Yeah, so it ends up, looking somewhat boring to you, but we can take the edges of these stones here on the ground or all the little stains in there and use those and build a whole new wall in the game.
Yes, sir.
I can't get over how much this looks like something in the game. It looks really nice. Even like just the top part of it.
It does. Actually, there's times where I'm thinking, oh, are they green screening them into Oblivion?
Actually, a hard thing to find generally is just finding nice patterns, just architectural details, just things that we can put into a building to give it some more decoration. A really good example is you can see the coffered ceiling. And I tried to build something just like that in the temple in the Imperial City. So I tried to recreate something, very similar to that. It's actually the top of a dome, but I'm using it for the top of an altar instead.
Okay.
So once I add all these different layers into it, it's more like the final texture.
I basically take care of all of the
They showed this footage right here of her in the stream that just happened.
creatures and that sort of thing. My
Put some armor on that horse. Charge me a few bucks.
particular favorite is the horse. You
horse
study
armor.
the skeleton and you know exactly how it should move. What you need to do is make sure that the rest of the body reacts to that movement because it does in real life. Yeah, I'm always watching her move and it also helps to. When I ride, I can feel what's going on. So, feeling is a good part of animating as well. Because you think about your body position and everything else while you're riding. Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, games still use horses for mocap whenever, usually, right? Like Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm pretty sure did. I know. I don't know if I know, but I think Last of Us Part 2 did also, right?
And then before you know it, you have this world that you created in your own mind that you can
They
sort of
like use them
experience
for actual mocap, though. I don't know if they...
and feel the atmosphere and sort of the dread and the scariness of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
That's one of the things. These games can get really creepy, especially when you're going in caves and shit.
world artist, but I specialize in the Oblivion plane art and the lower class. The stuff that's really dirty and dingy and sort of nasty, or the stuff that looks very deadly and scary.
That skeleton got swagger. You saw him walk up?
Evil.
Swiggity,
That seems
swiggity.
to be in my comfort zone, but also give people questions
It's got like Mike Stoklasa vibes.
as to why it's there and what it
Oh
stands
my
for. And
god.
that could be more interesting in what you read into it rather than the literal. What your mind imagines. Sometimes it's far cooler than what the reality is
Oh yeah.
of situations.
I've
live a
imagined
pretty
fucked up stuff, and there's no way I could ever visualize it, which is good for y'all.
normal life.
You don't want to see what's going on in here.
I have a wife and two daughters. They exist in that world with me, like they're exposed to the monster.
Better than having 2 wives and 1 daughter. That'd be weird.
Listen to the films and all the stuff that I have in the house.
Big
Want to hear
mess.
something really cool?
What?
You need to go over to Mark Lampert's office right now.
Okay.
Just imagine the best it could be. It's even better than that. Do you want to come over to Mark Lampert's office right now?
Was it good?
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. Generals and kings have knelt at my command.
That's such a cheesy line. That sounds good when he says it.
Of course, Patrick Stewart can say anything. It sounds good. I have to take a shit. Whoa! Actually, no. I take that back. Speaking of shit, he voiced that fucking shit emoji.
I don't know, like, if we could have picked there's another actor we could have picked who I'd be happier to write dialogue for. Like, seriously, like, I geeked out over Star Trek for years.
Yeah.
It was
He
on
looked,
while I
he
was
looked like he
a
was
child.
blindsided by that picture, but he was like,
We literally, all my friends, I would sit around, we watch Star Trek and drink beer and act like idiots. I don't have a picture of my wife in my wallet right now, but I've got Patrick Stewart in my wallet.
hell yeah.
There's no better actor
This is my
as
wife.
far as I'm concerned.
Jean-Luc
Yeah,
Picard.
They're my actors. They're my children, they have to behave properly. When they're not acting right, everyone comes looking to me. So yeah, I talk to them and I have them set up and know what they do. And
That was weird.
yeah, it's kind of odd.
It looked like she moved him. Are you a wizard?
There's kind of a quiet solitude about it, where there may be lots of cool and interesting things going on within the game, but you can sort of know that it's in its own little pocket, so to speak. It's kind of isolated from reality around you. It's really nice when they're cluttered with lots of interesting things that fool you for a second into thinking that you're in a real world.
Exactly how I felt with Red Dead Redemption 2. Sometimes I just roam around in that game and be like, yeah, this is the life. Not this boring bullshit one I got. Yeah, that's right. I just kill a fucking bear. I did that real. IRL. Anyway, yeah. So, to be fair, Crowbcat hasn't said anything about the remaster yet. He's just showing this has soul. This is soul. If they could still capture this in the game, imagine those behind the scenes where they're just like, they do almost the exact same stuff. They're like, yeah, we went outside to see if we could find some cool grass. I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go out here. Ooh, look at this bark. We use this bark texture. Good bark. And then they go to some fucking city and it's like, look at it. Oh, look at the marble. Yeah, we're going to use that shit. It might be the same thing. I mean, they might have cared that much to do that. I'm sure they had to make new textures, so I'm assuming they did. But I don't know. So there you go. That's it. I thought we'd check it out. So there you go. That's it. Bye.